In the book, Superthinking, author Gabriel Weinberg utilizes the legal term presumption of innocence to create a resonant strategic model aimed at enhancing our understanding of others' true intentions. The fundamental meaning of this term is that, in the absence of conclusive evidence proving a defendant's guilt, the defendant should be regarded as innocent. How can this legal principle assist our children in minimizing unnecessary misunderstandings with others? Curious minds, education binds. This is summer. In any situation, we can interpret someone's behavior from multiple perspectives. The presumption of innocence as a cognitive model encourages us to interpret others' actions in the most benevolent way, allowing us to assume innocent until proven guilty. For instance, I once emailed the principal of my child's junior high school to request a meeting before the new semester began, aiming to understand the school better and to provide the school with an initial impression of my child. However, after several days without a response, my first thought was that the school was ignoring my request. A more charitable interpretation could be that they were in discussions with my child's previous elementary school to gather essential information before reaching out to me, which might explain the delay in their reply. The key point is that I was unaware of the exact reasons behind the lack of response. However, if I approached the situation with the mindset of providing the most benevolent explanation, I could gradually build trust with the involved parties rather than undermine it. This mindset would likely lead my subsequent emails or calls to adopt a more inquisitive tone instead of a confrontational one. Over time, the establishment of trust can yield positive outcomes. Particularly in challenging situations, trust can serve as a bridge for communication, facilitating amicable resolutions. The next time we feel inclined to blame someone, it may be beneficial to take a step back and reflect on whether our assumptions are reasonable. When my child was younger, there was a day when he came home from school looking quite upset. As soon as he entered the house, he angrily tossed his backpack aside and ran straight to his study. I quietly followed him in and asked if something unpleasant had happened at school. With a look of distress, he explained that just before school ended, the teacher distributed prepared Christmas gifts. He had been eagerly hoping for a blue toy car, but the teacher gave it to another student instead. He felt it was unfair, as he was the first to raise his hand for the car, yet the teacher overlooked him. I reassured him, saying, "I don't think the teacher intentionally meant to overlook you. Perhaps she didn't see your hand raised, or maybe the classroom was a bit noisy, making it hard for her to hear you." Applying the concept of the most charitable interpretation might seem somewhat naive, but this approach does not require us to abandon our personal views. Instead, it encourages us to consider situations from a perspective of goodwill. We can still acknowledge other possible explanations, but we should refrain from making hasty judgments until the answers and truths become clear. An important concept in psychology is known as the fundamental attribution error. This concept indicates that individuals often have a tendency to attribute others' unkind behaviors to their inherent traits or underlying motives, while overlooking potential external situational factors. For instance, when we perceive someone as being rude to others, we may assume it is a reflection of their character, rather than considering that they might simply be having a bad day or feeling down. This illustrates the fundamental attribution error. We hope that children can experience the warmth of the world from a young age, believing that the people around them are friendly. This perspective fosters a foundation of kindness and friendliness in their lives, ultimately leading to more relaxed and harmonious interpersonal relationships. Curious minds, education binds. This is summer. Thank you for your time.